Hey everybody, welcome back to Mama K's in-home studio in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, with another interview coming to you from one of my most favorite people that I've gotten to know over the last couple of decades. My goodness, we actually were in university together in first year, and I'm so happy that they agreed to be interviewed. So without further ado, I will let them introduce themselves. Hello, special guest. Who are you?
Hi, I'm Mark Sawatsky. I'm currently a band teacher at Elmwood High School and trying to, like all other band teachers, figure this thing out and try and give you guys the best information that we can on how to learn music and what to do with music.
Fantastic. How long you been a band teacher for?
This is my 9th year teaching at Elmwood. Obviously, I graduated many moons ago and had that awkward conversation with my family at the dinner table of, maybe I don't want to study teaching. Maybe I want to be a rock star. Things got really silent really quick.
Mm-hmm.
But over the course of time, they supported me and they figured that I could sort of do it on my own and take care of myself, and they wouldn't have to hold me up on their end. And so things went down that path for quite some time before I decided to go into teaching.
So why don't you tell us about that path?
Um,
I've stumped you.
You did. Wow, you're good at this. It was interesting. We got a lot of we got some good recognition for quite some time. I think technology and age also played its part into it. It was really fun while it lasted. I learned, I think, a lot of practical skills that I could use in a classroom, in life. Being stranded in the middle of nowhere or touring in the middle of nowhere. I think I learned how to arrange songs a little bit better, phrase it, like all the musical stuff that we always try and instill on our kids, oddly enough, through rock music. Learned to work with 4 guys in a very confined space for a long period of time, who I can at this point consider my family. And it's just it's an interesting business, and without getting too deep into it, I can't really say much else about it. It was fun, I still play shows with bands, but not on a level that I did
What
when
do
I
you
was doing it.
play?
I'm a drummer. So
Excellent.
there's 3 tribute bands currently that I'm involved in. One which I kind of have to sort of keep under wraps for now up until it's announced, but 2 of which one is they're both hard rock bands. One is a Judas Priest tribute band, and the other one is Kiss. So yes, I dress up, I wear a lot of makeup, and we blow stuff up.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So sort of along that same line of thinking, and of course, remembering that this is a family interview, what is one of the weirdest gigs or jobs that you have ever been a part of?
Um, I would say not necessarily weird, but in terms of being awkward, you got to imagine myself at the young age of 19 being all rocked out, long hair, black clothes. And I think my first paying gig was a polka gig at a Legion.
That's amazing.
So with 2 guys who were in their 70s and one guy who at the time for me was old, but I think was in his mid 30s or early 40s. And we just played polka tunes. And I really have to credit another, I don't know if I can do this, but another band teacher out in our community by the name of Jeff Kula, who was my private drum instructor. He got me set up with that gig. And looking back on it, it was probably one of the most fun gigs ever. Just listening to older guys talk about wrestling and just playing stuff off the cuff. It really taught me how to be quick on your feet and improvise at a moment's notice, right? Somebody turns to you and says, okay, play swing, and off you go, right? And some of the songs I recognized from listening to my grandparents' music, so I'd recognize the melodies and the form, and then some it was just like, okay, here we go, got to figure this one out. Can't remember, don't know how it goes, never heard it, but I'm here, so let's do it.
That's perfect. So for anybody, any kids that are watching that maybe want to make music a career in their future, what sort of advice do you have?
It just depends on I think what path you want to follow, whether you want to be a teacher or an educator, whether you want to go into private instruction, whether you want to play professionally. If you choose to do that, I like to tell my students, like, conventional life as a performer does not look the same as everybody else's. So when most people are coming home from work, you're going to work. And when most people are going to work in the morning, you're coming back from work. So the hours are a little bit different, but it can most certainly be done. Finding somebody, I think, in your life who you're going to spend time with is crucial, so that you have that support system. Obviously, practice, know your craft, be professional, be on time. As much as it is cool to hear all these unique stories about delinquent entertainers, I think really behind the scenes, most of these people are very well spoken. They do their job very well. They know how to play what I like to call the game, and you don't become that successful if you're very unprofessional. And I have a couple friends who currently right now play with Slash, and these guys couldn't be any more than professional musicians, while still, maintaining that image of what it is to play with somebody from Guns N' Roses.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Any extra little bits of worldly advice from the young Mark Sawatsky?
Wash your hands. Now, I think now, like in this weird time, now more than ever is the time to really push yourself, if musically, try new stuff. We're in a day and age where, much like when you were listening to music, we didn't have all these pieces of technology where we could just access it from any point in our lives, any room, from wherever we were. So I always like to joke with my students and say, when we're stealing music, because if you don't pay for it, you technically steal it or illegally download it. But when were stealing music, we would have to run into an HMV, and don't do this, tuck the CD or the record, God forbid, that was huge, or a cassette tape in your shirt, and then run out the door and then suffer the consequences after. Now that whole entire idea has been eliminated, and if you want to listen to whoever your teacher suggests you to listen to, or someone in life suggests you to listen to, you have it at your fingertips. You could just type it in. You can get a fairly decent audio recording or even video recording of it, and then really just go from there. So it's just a whole different way to access that information and to use it to your advantage. Like, you could literally, if you wanted to, be sitting in a room with your headphones on, turned up, and your phone hooked up to like some type of thing where it's set up, and you could play along to the musicians that you follow.
Absolutely. So listen, listen, listen.
Yeah. And now's a great time. You're doing whatever you're doing, just put stuff on and listen to it. Whether you're really enveloped in the listening and you're totally paying attention, or if it's just, what I like to call background sounds while you're doing life.
Yeah, that's when I put my vinyl on.
Yeah. Yeah. Except when it gets to the end, because then the needle keeps going. So you got to pick
And then
it
you
up.
wash your hands and then you flip it over.
Yes. And the whole thing. Yeah. Don't touch it. Don't get fingerprints on it.
Thank you so much for taking time out of this crazy, crazy day to share with us. And it's always nice catching up with you. I wish we got to do it more.
Yes. Well, at least we got to do it. So
yeah,
that's great. And take care.
Absolutely. Thanks, Mark. Talk to you later.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.